And showtime on 3. 1, 2, 3, showtime. Jesus knew this was showtime. This was the pinnacle of why I came. God coming into this earth, human flesh, going to the cross. It's on. And I love what he says in verse 1 and 2. He says, having loved his own, he loved them to the end. He loved them to the end. That Greek word is telos, and it basically means until the completion. Until the completion of something. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I'm not a real handy guy. And so I'll be maybe encouraged to maybe start a project. And I'll start it. And I'll get about halfway. And then I'll get busy. And then it'll just sit there. Any guys relate to that? I mean, now some of you guys are handy and you're diligent and you finish that work to completion. That's what Jesus is saying. He's saying, I love my people and I'm going to go to the very end and complete this work. You also know that word for love there is agape. That word agape in the Greek means unconditional love, sacrificial love. In 1 Corinthians 13:7, for you note takers, it says this, that love bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things. Love never fails. That's the kind of love this was. He loved his people till the end. He knew times were going to get tough. He knew the beating and the pain he was going to go through. Yet, because of that love, I'm going, man. I'm going to complete this work. How about you? What does your love look like? What does my love look like? Man, it's getting kind of hard. I don't know, man. It's getting kind of tough. I don't know, that person right there, they're not really reacting the way I thought they would. Man, my spouse lately, I don't know what's wrong with them. It's time to check out. I'm going to leave this work incomplete. I'm bouncing. Listen, that's not the love that God's called us to. And the love and the power that He so wants to give us. Unconditional. I can't stand my wife. I can't stand my husband. My kids, they don't appreciate anything that I do. I'm just going to stop cooking for them. Right? Can you imagine, ladies? All right, man, these kids, they don't... I'm slaving over the stove all the time. Tough on that. I'm just done. You know what true love does? It continues to serve, even when you don't get that pat on the back. Mommy, those were some banging eggs right there. Thank you so much. Fry up the turkey bacon. That money. Thank you. None of that. The Bible says this. In John 15:13, we're going to get to it in a couple chapters. It says, greater love has no one than this, than to lay down one's life for his friends. That's a sacrificial, putting others first type of love. And this is what He's going to do. He's going to go to the cross. Verse 2. And supper, this Seder dinner, that's what they call the Passover celebration, the Seder dinner. This supper being ended, they got their grub on, they're done. The devil having already put it into the heart of Judas Iscariot, Simon's son, to betray him. Jesus, knowing that the Father had given all things into His hands, and that He had come from God, right? Jesus is God in the flesh that came from heaven. He'd come from God, and now He was going to God. After that, the death, the crucifixion, the burial, then the resurrection, He was going to go back to God. Check it out in verse 4. He rose from supper. He laid aside His garments. He took a towel and girded Himself. Now, this is key for us to understand. The towel, after He would gird Himself, it was basically a representation of the lowest of low servants. That's how you knew that they were a servant. In the community, you could recognize them as the lowest of low because they had girded themselves with a towel. So Jesus was identifying for His disciples, listen guys, this is exactly what I'm doing right now. I'm identifying, even though I'm the CEO of the world, I'm going to be the lowest of low janitors right now and show you a model. So after that, He poured water into a basin and He began to wash the disciples' feet and to wipe them with the towel with which He was girded. Pause right there. I'm going to invite actually 3 guys. You know who you are. If you can make your way on up here, kick your socks and shoes off. We're just going to give you a picture of what was going down here. And just so you guys can see. Now, This is going to be hard to kind of connect because in that day, it's quite different than what service looks like today. I mean, service today looks like maybe mowing your neighbor's yard, picking up trash for someone, opening the door for someone, cooking someone a meal when they're having a tough time. Service looks a little bit different today. You don't really see people going, hey man, I want to serve you. Whip off your shoes real quick. Let me just scrub your feet a little bit. But go ahead and take a seat, guys. And I'm going to go ahead and gird myself with a towel here and just give you guys a picture of what's going on. Now, back in the culture, I'm going to try to bring you back in the culture. How about that? There you go, right there. Let me grab my little towel here, guys. Back in that culture, they didn't have, Nike Shocks. I don't know what these guys are wearing today. Adidas, there we go. You know what they had was basically sandals. And they would go, there was no pavement, asphalt or whatever that kind of, they walked on dirty, dusty trails. So when they would come into a home, they would have the lowest of low servants there at the door to be able to wash their feet. And basically, these are nasty, dirty. I'm not saying yours are. I'm just saying, And you can dry them off there. But this is a picture. Now Jesus was showing them, hey man, there is nothing too high, too low for me to do. And this is a picture of exactly what he's telling them to do. Now, he's going to all his disciples, and remember, there's one of those cats, and what was his name? Judas Iscariot. The Bible just said, dude, the enemy, Satan had already entered his heart. And so, now I'm not saying anything about Hector right now, but if I'm Jesus, and I knew, again, I'm God in the flesh, I know all things, right? I don't know if I'll be like washing James's feet, John's feet. John, there you go. John's feet. But I'm going to come to Judas and I'll whip out like a little stiletto or something and start slicing up his feet. I'm not going to be doing that. But you know what? Does that tickle? There you go. Very good. Okay, let me grab that other one. But you know what? You know what unconditional love looks like? Regardless of their action, regardless of who they are, Jesus says, I don't care. That coworker that you can't stand, that family member that just hates you because you're a Christian, you know what he says to do? Wash their feet. He says to wash their feet. Now again, in today's culture, you guys can go ahead and dry those off. I thank you for your participation, guys. In today's culture, it looks different. I was talking again to my workout partner. I think we talk more than we actually work out. It's probably why I'm like scrawny and weak, but he was talking about, he had new neighbors move in, and one of the things that he felt God wanted him to do. I love you guys, man. I appreciate it. Look at, that's servants right there. Look what they're doing, man. That he felt led to just go mow their yard. They moved in. He's just going to serve practically. Now, if he went over there and was like, yo, can I wash your feet real quick? They'd be like, but dude mowed their yard, and what is wrong with you? You're weird. Hey man, I just wanted to tell you God loves you. It's a practical way for me to show God's love. That's a picture of what Jesus is trying to model here. Let me just give you an idea of servanthood. And I'm probably going to steal their rewards, but the first man's feet that I washed is a guy named John. He happens to be my stepfather. You guys don't know this, but for mobile church, there has to be someone setting up church every single Sunday morning. Y'all just come in, yo, what's up, dog? Yeah, let's worship God. This dude, early in the morning, packing Calvary Chapel light into a trailer, driving it here, getting here before anyone gets here, week in, week out. You know why he's doing that? Anybody know? He wants to serve God. He loves Jesus. He knows that he was on his way to hell.